So, good day, students. So, I am back. So, I am here to discuss all about Module 6 of our Quarter 2, all about carbon compounds. So, as we all know, carbon is one of the elements found in the periodic table. Objectives. Learning objectives. Discuss the uniqueness of the carbon atoms in terms of its structure. Identify the structure of saturated and unsaturated carbon atom. Compounds are commonly known as hydrocarbons. Determine the name of the structure of saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbons. Determine the trend of the properties of hydrocarbon in terms of increasing number of carbon atoms. And lastly, we have classified hydrocarbon compounds into saturated and unsaturated, and classify unsaturated compounds into alkenes and alkynes. So, lesson 1, carbon and its bond. So in this lesson, you will know how unique the carbon atom is, and you will also know the different types of bonds that a carbon can be able to form. So first, we have the single bond characterized by one line. So, excuse me. Then double bond, duha ka line. And then triple bond, tulo ka line. The structural formulas of carbon and other atoms will show you the exact way of connecting them to each other using a short, straight line known as a bond. So, mo na siya. So, the different electrons of elements and carbon can be able to share with each other through this bond. Carbon is the same element present in all living things and some non-living things, such as paper, coal, and diamond. Carbon forms organic compounds with other many atoms like hydrogen. So, pwede siya mo-bond sa hydrogen, sa oxygen, nitrogen, and the halogen. So, do you know what halogens are? So, these halogens are the elements that belongs to group 7A or group 17. So, mo ni silang mga elements nga nag-N og I and E. We have chlorine, fluorine, bromine, iodine. So, mo na sila, which can form complex structures. The structural formula is preferred instead of using the molecular formula because it shows the exact ways in which the atoms are connected to each other in a form of bonds. So, structural gani, makita jud diha ang pag-connect sa carbon ngadto sa laing element. Whereas sa molecular formula, makita ra ana is class is the number. So, example, we have methane, CH3 ra. So, C, H, then 3. 3 sa ubos. It will serve as a subscript na sa ubos. So, kuan siya, number ay ibutang. Pasabot nga na usa ka carbon, then tulo ka hydrogen. Okay, so we have now the Lewis electron dot structures. I am showing this to you as a review since you will be making another Lewis dot electron dot structures later. So again, we have the groups 1 and 2. You can get their valence electron by considering their group number. So group 1 na siya 1 valence electron, group 2 na siya 2. For 13 to 18 or group 3A to 7A, kung kining 13 atong gamiton, 13 minus 10, so you have 3 valence electrons for group 3A, 4 valence electrons for group 4A, 5 valence electrons for group 5A, then 6 valence electrons for 6A, 7 valence electrons for 7A, and for group 18, which is our noble gases, they are stable. So they have 8 valence electrons. See, they don't need to be donated since they are already stable. Following the octet rule, wherein an element could be stable if they have a valence electron of 8. So let's start. the first activity that you need to answer on your paper. Again, sa paper ni siya, then ipass ini ka Thursday. Ang na-answer kay adto sa science notebook. So what's new? Show the Lewis symbol of the following atoms. So you have there the element. So you have there the element, and then the different elements. Then we have lithium as our example. So lithium belongs to group 1. So its valence electron is 1. So that is why the Li is surrounded by one dot only. So for fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, and hydrogen, you need to determine their family or group based sa katong periodic table nga akong ipakita ganina, the representative elements. So if you know their group or family na, then you can do the Lewis symbol by writing the symbol of the element and surrounding it with dots, depending on its family or group. For letter C, identify the type of covalent bonds. There are 4 compounds there: water, methane, ethane, and methanol. So you have to do the chemical formula, write the chemical formula. Water is composed of hydrogen and oxygen. Methane is composed of carbon and hydrogen. Ethane is also composed of carbon and hydrogen. And then methanol is composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So you have to do the research kung pila ang mga subscripts sa akong ipang-mention nga elements sa kada compound nga naa. Then, do the Lewis structure by surrounding it with dots, but do not connect since it's Lewis structure pa. Dili pa siya mag-bond, kay Lewis structure pa man. Then, the type of covalent bond, could it be polar or non-polar? You must remember that if it is less than or equal to 0.4, that is non-polar. And if it is 0.5 to 1.9, that is polar. Okay? So muna, inyo mang i-subtract ang electronegativity value sa elements nga nag-compose sa compound. Example, for water, you need to subtract the electronegativity value for hydrogen and oxygen. Okay? So to get that, the answers for column 4. Okay, what's more? Illustrate the Lewis and Kikuel structure of the following molecules. The first one has been done for you. So this is our first example. Okay, so we have here our first example. We have carbon and 1 carbon and 4 hydrogen. So in Lewis, you have 1 carbon, kanang black, surrounded by its 4 valence electrons. How do you get that? 4 because carbon belongs to group 4A or group 14. And then you have surrounded it with 4 hydrogens because it has 4 atoms of hydrogen. Okay, sa line bond or Kikuel line bond, so ang dots imo nang i-connect. So mo na maka-form na kaog bond. So same as what you will do in number 2 and number 3, wherein there are 6 hydrogens, 2 carbons. And in the third, we have 8 hydrogens, 3 carbons. So you have to write that there. That is one. Show a possible structural formula of molecules by connecting each atom. Okay, so there is instruction there. So, pareha ninyo ana na sa imabaw. Structural formula or the Kikuel line bond. So, you have 4 hydrogens. So, usually, the atom or the element with the least atom will be the central atom. So, sujay kurag center. So, for carbon, usa ra mga carbon sa isura ni mga upat ka hydrogen. It should be making a bond. Okay? What I have learned, so sentence completion word pool. So you will select, as after you read the contents of the modules of lesson 1, you have to supply the different words for the sentence completion or word pool. You have to choose the words that corresponds to each blank there. That is worth 10 points. To the next part, what I can do. So this is activity number 1, carbon compounds modeling. Objective, you will be able to reproduce your own model of carbon molecules. Materials, you will be using balls, sticks, or straw, glue, or masking tape. So you can use a ping pong ball, you can use plastic ball, you can use stick, straw, you can use paper kanang lukuton then i-form mo ball para dili nakakagasto. Be creative, choose your materials to be used. You can use recyclable materials, so as long as you can form ball and stick model of the carbon compound. Okay, so again, pwede ka mag-use og laing color for carbon. Dapat lahi ang color sa carbon, lahi ang color sa hydrogen. So it must be different. It is not exclusive to white and black, but still you can use green and red, for example, white and blue. Basta lahi ang color sa carbon, nga mag-represent sa carbon, lahi po ang color sa hydrogen. But it must be correct ha, kung pila ra dapat ang carbon ana nga compound, pila ra hydrogen. It should be correct. Okay? Procedure. Using the molecules given, students will make way to somehow copy the ball and stick model of some carbon molecules. The carbon atom is black while the hydrogen atom will be a white ball. So again, this is not compulsory that mo ninyo i-follow ang color. So as long as carbon is different, hydrogen has a different color as well. Use the straw or stick for the bond that holds between atoms of carbon and hydrogen. So again, pwede ninyo himuon ninyong urag base ang straw or stick basta maporma siya. Okay. This is the model of the methane molecule with plastic ball. This model represents a carbon atom in the directions where the chemical bond is formed. So it must be correct ang pag-bond. So example, methane. So man siya methane. The carbon is our central atom, the black there, surrounded by 4 hydrogens. Then we have ethane. Okay. The second alkane. Okay, so we have the second example there, ethane. So you can see there is 2 carbons, 6 hydrogens. Next is pentane. So 5 ka carbon, 12 ka hydrogen. Because the formula for alkane is CnH2n plus 2, where N signifies the number of carbon and hydrogen. So CnH2n plus 2. So you will substitute, example, you will substitute the number of carbons, 1. So Cn, so C1. So it doesn't show nga magbutang pakagawan. So C, that means 1. Then 2n, 2 times 1, you got 2. Plus 2, you have CH4. That is how you get methane. So 2n, 2 times 1 plus 2. Muna nakakuha kag chemical formula sa methane nga CH4. Same as the following different alkanes. Okay, next you have octane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. O, 8 ka-carbon. Then, 18 or 18 ka-hydrogens. Okay, this one, as you can see, duha. Kana. So, duha siya ka bond. So, this is considered as an alkene with a hydrocarbon with 2 bonds or double bond. So, mana siya. This is butene. Kay upat ka carbon. Butene. Then, ay may double bond. So, this is butene. B-U-T-E-N-E. Okay, the formula is CnH2n. Okay, next. Okay, so this is an alkyne naman. So, this one, tulo ka bond. 1, 2, 3. Tulo na siya ka bond class. So, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. The formula is CnH2n. That is, upat ka carbon, so that is butane. Butane na siya. Butane. So, alkane class, nag-N na siya ANE, alkenes, end with ENE, and alkynes, end with YNE. So, mo ito yung himuon ha, ball and stick model, showing the carbon compounds. Lesson 2, saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbons. As you learned from lesson 1, a carbon atom is unique that it has 4 valence electrons, which enables it to form 4 covalent bonds with atoms of other elements and other carbon atoms. Take note, carbon can form 4 covalent bonds, but there are 3 classifications of its bonds. We have the single bond, the double bond, and the triple bond. Since there are numerous compounds of carbon, these are convenient to organize them into groups according to their structural similarities. The simplest and most commonly encountered class of organic compounds is the hydrocarbon. So from the name itself, hydrocarbon, compounds composed of hydrogen and carbon. Moreover, the structures of hydrocarbons affect their properties such as physical state and boiling point. Coloring is fun. Okay, pasensya ha sa atong module, hindi siya maklaro. So that is why I referred you to a soft copy that I uploaded in our group. So kung amoy member ato, dali mo ka-open, kaya naman siyang gihimong private. So you must join that group. At present, we have 213 members pa out of 270 plus. So naghapoy wa join, so you better join. In the next activity, you will match the correct number from column A to the corresponding prefix in column B. You are to color the boxes containing prefixes in column B with the color of the number in column A. Okay, so natay box, inyo nang i-draw sa inyong papel, then inyong koloran. So for mono, that means 1, inyong koloran og pink. For di, which means 2, koloran ninyo green. For tri, which means 3, koloran ninyo blue. Tetra, which means 4, koloran og 4. Red, rather. For pent, koloran og yellow. For hex, koloran og sky blue. For hept, koloran na ninyo orange. For oct, koloran na ninyo og red, violet. And then for non, koloran ninyo siya blue-green. So no, wrong color used means wrong. That is 1.8. Okay, we have here the alkanes, the number of atoms. The first column is the number of atoms. Second is the molecular structure. So, molecular structure, makita ninyo ang subscripts. So, pilay number of carbon o pilay number of hydrogen. Example, for decane or the alkane with 10 carbons, that is C10H22. You derive that by using the formula CnH2n plus 2. So you got C10H22. So C, substitute N with 10. The H2 and 2 times 10, that is 20 plus 2. Kung nakakuha ka og C10H22. So it means natay 10 ka carbon, natay 22 ka hydrogens. Okay, they have the names there. Then the expanded structural formula. So kining sa expanded structural formula class, klaro kaayo gipalibutan og hydrogen ang carbon. Then sa condensed structural formula, magamit ka ana og single bonds, and then wa na siya kanang hydrogen wa na siya gitagsa-tagsa, wa na siya nag-form og orag skeletal formula, but instead gibutang na lang siya. Example sa ethane. So we have CH3, okay, CH3 kana CH3 class kana CH3 gikan na dire na tulo ka hydrogen nagpalibot sa carbon. Then you have there CH3 na pod. Kaya again, nagihapoy tulo ka hydrogen naglibot sa carbon. So that is how to get the condensed structural formula. Okay? Guide question. In the table above, the names of the alkanes are written using a system that tells us the exact number of carbon atoms in the hydrocarbon compound. How is this method done? So how is this method done? Giunsa pagsuwat. The name of alkanes are written using a system that tells us the exact number of carbon atoms in the hydrocarbon compound. How is this method done? Okay, so how is this method done? How did you get that structural formula and condensed structural formula? Giunsa? How na na-mention ganina? Okay, so we'll also answer these guide questions about the different hydrocarbons. We have alkanes, alkenes, and alkynes. So phase, so asa siya gikan from gas to liquid ba or liquid to gas. Naroon jud diha sa data nga akong gi-provide sa table. Then the boiling point, increasing ba or decreasing? Then melting point, increasing ba or decreasing? Mura na, 1 point each na na siya class. What I have learned. Complete the concept map below by providing the missing terms. Choose from the word pool below. So, inyo ra nang i-copy and answer sa inyong papel. You have to choose below. If you read the module, you can answer that perfectly. That is 10 points. 1 point. Then we have the last slide. Let's investigate what I can do. In our daily activities, we usually encounter common products containing hydrocarbon compounds at home or anywhere. Classify the corresponding pictures to the class of hydrocarbon it belongs. So we have there the pictures. So di man siguro ninyo klaro, so I'll just give the product name and then you have to determine if it is an alkane, alkene, or alkyne. So first is butane gas. Butane gas. Second is, what is this? Okay, the second is acetylene. Acetylene gas. Third is melamine. Melamine plastic wares. Then the fourth is methane gas. And the fifth is Freestone, an antifreeze product used in, I think, used in vehicles, such as cars. So you just have to check asa siya nabilong, alkane ba, alkene, or alkyne. Okay? So I think that would be all for this. So the total points for this is ano na total. Ako na lang i-announce sa atong GC. Basta daghanin siyang answeranan, you have to answer. Do not skip anything para siguradong pasar. Again, ang mga na-answer key, adto i-answer sa science notebook which will be collected on February 26, the last day of the second quarter. That will also be the date wherein you will submit your performance output, the ball and stick model of carbon compounds. So you just have to send your output in my messenger account, Chris Rabe. Send a picture, the whole picture of your project. That is the first picture. The second picture is a selfie picture with your project, which means kamo dyan naghimo, dili ra pinorward sa classmate. Okay? So, dapat duha ka picture. Picture sa project o selfie with the project. Okay, deadline ana is February 26 because maghimo pa may grado in town. So, kung di mo pass, posible nga gamay o grado or mahagbong. So, you have to comply. That is your performance output, 50% of your grade. Okay? So, I'll be making the next videos for the next modules. So, I hope you understood a lot from this discussion. And I'm wishing you all a good day and enjoy learning science. Enjoy learning in this new normal. Good day, students. And then have a nice day. Enjoy your day and hope to see you soon. Bye bye.